Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Apologies for no cast yesterday, guys. I did make a mention of the fact that there wasn't going to be one on my Facebook page. If you haven't liked that already, it's a good idea to do it if you do use Facebook. It's the best place to find out what news is happening with the channel. I had a bunch of personal messages and mails through YouTube stuff asking when yesterday's cast was going to appear. Of course, it wasn't going to. I'd already mentioned that I was going to do double dollops today. So if you haven't done it already, why not like my Facebook page? You can find that at Gylecast. Just type that into the search function on Facebook. You should find the page. Alright, that's enough of that. I've got some ISIS action rolling your way in just a second, but if you will bear with me a couple of moments, for the benefit of my newer subscribers, I should do my little bit of promotional work. We've had an influx of them recently. First of all, guys, if you are a newer subscriber, hello and welcome. Lovely to have you guys on board. And if you like what you see but you're not exactly sure what it is you are looking at, the game is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, not Supreme Commander 2. It is available on Steam for £10 or $15 US, whatever the equivalent is in your local currency. And all you need to do once you have the game installed, it doesn't matter if you have the retail copy of the game or the digital download edition from Steam, all you need to do is download the Forged Alliance Forever multiplayer client, and you can find a link to that in the description below this video. That will allow you to play and chat with up to 700 or 800 people at peak times. It will also allow you to check out the replay vaults, the map vaults. I'm always getting people asking where are we getting some of these maps from. Well, it's all online, homogenized in a nice, easy to access place on the FAF client, and it is the only way to enjoy this game now. It's the only community left since GPG has disintegrated, and this, as far as I'm concerned, is far and away better than anything GPG had. So come join us, it'd be great to see. On to today's game. It's going to take place, like I say, on Fields of Isis. So let's head on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Now, of course, Field of Isis needs no introduction, but our players do, so let's check them out. We'll call this Team 1 over here on the left-hand side of the map, and this Team 2 over on the right. First off, for Team 1 in Ferrari Red up here at the top left, it's Mage. He's sporting Cybrin and opening first land, going for double adjacency bonus, all very greedy on that first factory. And his teammate down here at the bottom left in Hallie Orange, it's not Danielson, it's his tuna-related brother, Tuunasaan, and he's going Aeon opening first land. So that's Team 1. Over for Team 2, over here at the top right in, what is that? I guess emerald green, shall we call it? It's Erad1cator, and he's going UEF opening first land. Last but not least, down here at the bottom right in elephantine grey, it's FokeOff. I see what you did there. And he's going Cybrin. Someone might instinctively be forgiven for thinking that that's FunkOff. You can see he's got a high global ranking there, but I did check just before this game, did a quick username utility search, and it is not. It is someone else altogether. So haven't cast him before. I'm sure I'd remember with a name like that. But anyway, like I say, he's going Cybrin opening first land, throwing down a bunch of land factories up there. One of them, incidentally, air factory actually next to the hydro, and off goes the little strut war that always ensues on ISIS. Get to the middle, get your hands on as much of that reclaim as possible. The first things to the middle are some units for Mage, and one of which is a mole. Give him a little bit of intel, following up with a mantis and an engineer, so he's getting early engineers out there initially, and then following up with the commander. The lead commander to the middle, though, however, is FokeOff. He's making his way down to the bottom aperture as we speak. I've been checking out, actually, I wanted to do an ISIS game, and I was trawling through the ISIS maps, or the ISIS games, on the replay vault, and it does seem that Mage and Tuunasaan play together quite a lot. I guess they're probably friends, and this is one of their key maps that they like to play on, so expect combined strategies from them. So right down the bottom we've got Contact, we've got a Hunter, a Lab there from FokeOff, chasing down a Spirit, a Combat Scout there from Tuunasaan as best he can. It's not actually Combat Scouts, it's a Land Scout, but Tuunasaan is beelining for that Hunter with the Commander. Doesn't want to go after it though, really. You can see it heading north with great gusto. You'll never catch that with the ACU. Instead, he's got a couple of his own labs that are bearing down that position, and FokeOff just a little bit too late there with the micro, won't be able to do anything there. So air units out now for tuunasaan, the first real air units on the map. Also a bomber out for FokeOff. See them making contact. This is going to be crucial, though. Who is going to get the most of the mass? FokeOff is going to the bottom aperture, throwing down an auto gun, and Erad1cator has got to the majority of the mass with his ACU first, but look at the amount of mass that's already been hoovered up there by that initial engineer from Mage. First bit of contact between the two ACUs at the top. Mage is going to pummel away on Erad1cator's ACU. That's a little bit of a mistake. He wants to get his share of the Harbs and the Titan wreck, but instead electing to put some early damage on Erad1cator, forfeiting that mass bonus since he feels like he's got his hands on a bunch of mass. It's not a bad idea, I guess. Take some HP off the clock and even things up, and now you'll notice 9,600 hit points apiece. That is now even Stevens, apart from, of course, the base regen on the Cybran HCU is slightly better. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, FokeOff managed to get that auto gun in place. It did take quite a little bit of damage, though. That's down to around 206 HP. And just so we don't miss a thing, let's keep an eye on these two battles as they continue. Mage pushing very far forward at the top. Erad1cator definitely down on HP. You can see he's well into the yellow there. 7,300 hit points on the clock plates, 8,000 against Mage. Meanwhile, at the bottom, you've got FokeOff, who's sitting on around 6,300 to the 6,300 on tuunasaan, but that auto gun just got finished off there by one of tuunasaan's bombers. Back up to the top over on the right-hand screen. Erad1cator now dropping below 5,000 HP, especially helped with an odd bomber coming in there from Mage. And this is a playstyle, incidentally, that Mage loves. Despite the fact that he's running a Cybran comm, he loves to push deep into enemy territory up here in the top area. You can see how well he's done. Erad1cator, despite running UEF, down to just 3,300 HP, and in terms of territory, he's doing very much better than his mirror there. And the action on the bottom aperture seems to have petered out for the moment. FokeOff rebuilt that auto gun back on top of the wreck, getting that 50% bonus, and only just now going back to hoover up some of the last wrecks down here. That one Harbinger sitting there quite unreservedly throughout the entirety of that little skirmish. tuunasaan unable to get his hands on it due to the proximity of that auto gun. And now Erad1cator pushing forward with a few T1 units once again, but he's had to back right up to friendlier territory, not looking healthy at all. Mage really far forward, has gained an awful lot of territory for his team. Now FokeOff has some reinforcing Mantis down there at the bottom, but not a great deal of commitment from either of these two ACUs. They're not going at each other hardcore. It's a different story up here. Erad1cator, first of all, on an upgrade, and I'd have to hazard a guess. Yes, he'd want the hit point boost that T2 Engineering Suite would give him, but I'm going to guess he's probably going to go for the gun. He's going to want to pop the extra units because he's got quite a few on the field. Both of these guys pouring T1 units into the mix, much so more heavily than the two guys on the bottom. I have to keep an eye on that and see what that is as he goes, but I think we've got enough of a lull in activity to go back to single screen and just check to see who got the better of the reclaim there. Erad1cator grabbed around 4,000 mass, Mage's mirror 3,700, not much in it. FokeOff bottlenecking power hard, got about 3,300 reclaim out of that, and tuunasaan 2,600. So FokeOff's early auto gun, while out of commission now, definitely helped him gain a little bit more of an advantage on the bottom there. Yet still, he's yielding territory now to tuunasaan, who's throwing an upgrade on his comm there. Take a look at where he's going. He's already grabbed the initiative. He's grabbed the territory. That's probably going to be engineering suite T2. This is probably going to be gun upgrade because he's got to get back in there, and despite the fact that he's UEF, I doubt he's going to want to get involved in a PD war straight away off the back of it, not the way he was playing. These guys seem to be a little bit more in your face, so to speak. Mage, incidentally, though, is also getting an upgrade on his commander there. That's nearly finished. That's probably going to be the engineering suite. We'll take a look at the HP. Bam! Up to 12,000. So, yep, we can confidently say that that will be. That makes sense, of course. He's got the territory. He can start throwing down Cerberus turrets, and there we go. Cerberus turrets, just as soon as I say it, one appears. Erad1cator now having finished. Doesn't look like he's got a big increase in HP. There's the Zep Amp, sorry. That should afford him good deal of extra damage, and he's coming in. He's got some Lobos here. He wants to take out this Cerberus turret if he can. It's going to be a tough call. I think he's got enough Lobos back here to do it. Hit points evaporating, down it goes, and that's vitally important, disturbing that mini fortification before it properly got established, preventing Mage from really claiming this as an all-out victory. Erad1cator not yet ready to give it up. So once again, the engagement ensues. Take a look at what's happening down there. Meanwhile, down on the bottom, we've got some tech arriving there for FokeOff, some hoplites. But once again, Erad1cator taking an awful lot of fire, backing up, backpedaling like he's in a Benny Hill video. Needs to be really careful, hasn't got a lot of HP to play with. Mage going to throw down another Cerberus turret, getting even more greedy now, wants to retain as much territory as possible, force Erad1cator back towards his base. Erad1cator not going to allow that to happen, gets in there with an overcharge, prevents that turret from being completed. Now Mage switching to auto guns, wants to get them placed quicker to prevent Erad1cator from doing that. Another big overcharge takes that out immediately though. Another auto gun online. This is a lot of high tense, high action stuff from both of these two guys. Mage spamming them up, but no quicker is he spamming them up than Erad1cator tearing them down with that gun upgrade and the overcharge. Mage actually might have to back up here. Of course, he's got all of the extra HP. Could potentially go at Erad1cator and win. However, the extra veterancy has kicked in there. You can see 8,500 HP. And we can see, meanwhile, a little bit of a turtle race going on the bottom. So you can take a look down here. In fact, the action-wise, let's swap this round. Have a look at the top screen on the left-hand side and the bottom down here on the right. So tuunasaan getting involved in a turtle fight with FokeOff, who's establishing a base back here as well. So completely different styles of play being employed by the two sets of players on the top, and then on the bottom, tuunasaan really throwing together defenses as quickly as he can. He's already got a stealth gen in place, he's already got shield, he's already got oblivion turrets and TMD. FokeOff slightly behind the curve with that, but nicely out of range. Of course, the danger is, of course, that Erad1cator could get cut off here. You can see units starting to push up the right-hand edge of the central reservation there for Team 1. If they get in behind Erad1cator at the top here, that could cause real trouble. But Mage had to back right up. This is unreal. Think how low Erad1cator was on HP, and Erad1cator just bulls out, walking in there, overcharging these turrets, not allowing them to stay up for any real length of time, preventing Mage from establishing a proper fortification here. Mage has managed to keep one Cerberus turret for the moment. He wants to stay in front to prevent Erad1cator from moving in and knocking them out, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, on the bottom, lots of sedentary playstyle going on. Point defenses being queued up, and I think we'll start to see some kind of point defense creep now from tuunasaan. That would be the sensible thing to do. Yep, there they go. That's actually a Seeker anti-air turret at first, but imagine he'll be placing them forward as he goes. But Mage suddenly down to 5,400 odd hit points on the clock. He's continuously trying to get a base together, but it's just not happening for him. Very little's happening on the base for the moment. I think we're in good shape to go back to single screen and focus on all of the action at the top, which really is the main predominant source of action on the map right now. And amazingly, Erad1cator's managed to push through. T2 units on the field. How's he been doing on the reclaim? 10,000 as opposed to Mage's 5,000, so he's really getting to grips with the amount of wrecks on the field. Every spare minute that he's had with the ACU while he's been controlling it in here, I guess he's been hoovering up that mass, and that's given him the advantage. You can see he's made the transition to T2. T2 now on the field for mage as well, but it's turning up ever so slightly later for Erad1cator. However, 58 mass per tick plays 43. Mage is ahead on the eco game. And FokeOff and tuunasaan, not a great deal between those two guys in eco. Having said that, it did look like FokeOff jumped into the 70s just for a moment there. Certainly got a decent amount of T2 on the field. Just the one shield protecting him for the moment, though. He didn't finish off that Cerberus turret. You can see it degrading there. 1 hit point a second falling off the clock. And there, indeed, is the PD creep, as we would expect it. And even songs appearing on the field as well. FokeOff has some zappers in play, though. He's going to be able to counter those. And Cerberus turrets forcing those even songs back into shield cover. And units streaming across now from tuunasaan's main base over to Mage's little collection of troops up here. And I think Mage might finally find a place to set up shop. He's been looking for one for the best part of about 12 minutes now. And finally he's found it. The only problem for him is, of course, that is way back up in friendly territory. Engineers flown in there for FokeOff. A little bit of a graphical bug there. Erad1cator on an upgrade but moving. What's going on there? Perhaps a mild unregistered desync on the replay. Answers in the comment section below if you know what that was about. And an attempt to rebuild this shield that's been taken down. tuunasaan winning the point defense war at the bottom for the moment. FokeOff bringing Hoplite back into the fort. And then thinking better of it. T3 power being queued up at the back. And we are seeing T3 emerge onto the field for FokeOff. Mage back up to full health, 18,900 hit points on the clock. I wonder if that's going to be now the T2 engineering suite we see for Erad1cator. It would make sense. He's gained territory. Can he hold on to it? That is the question. But FokeOff tearing ahead in the eco race. tuunasaan stalling at 63 mass. He's been on that for a good 4 or 5 minutes now, so hasn't been queuing up his next stage upgrades really. He's got 1 T1 mechs down here and of course these 2 forward ones, but I would suggest he probably needs to start thinking about trying to get T3, trying to get mass storage. You see mass storage in place there for FokeOff. Mage trying to creep his PD forward, but volleys of missiles from Flapjacks back here not allowing him to do so. He has to march forward with his ACU instead. And you can see those blazes there having been produced by tuunasaan have had their control transferred over to Mage, so nice teamwork going on there for Team 1. And it looks like a critical mass of units there for Mage, tearing through what was left of Erad1cator, who's still back here on an upgrade. He's running out of units. Yes, he's stockpiling them back here, but suddenly the momentum shifts once again, and Erad1cator about to find his ACU swarmed. He needs mass. He's calling for it from his teammate. Wants to finish that upgrade. Finally, it completes. He just needs to get his big shiny metal butt back to somewhere safe. You can see hoplites being brought in there from FokeOff. And he's got a couple of trebuchets down there as well, firing onto that entrenched position there of tuunasaan's. FokeOff giving up around 5,000-6,000 hit points there, but suddenly gets a nice rank up in veterancy. Adds all of that HP back onto the tank once again. Doing a little bit of a dance there, trying to micro. Beautiful overcharge, taking around about 5 or 6 units out of commission there. This really has been 16, 17 minutes of constant fluid action between these two guys at the top. I like the maneuver here to the trebuchet from FokeOff, having attained that tech upgrade on that land factory, now producing bricks, and one of those bricks making their way up to the front line as well for Erad1cator. That's got to help matters considerably. Once again, Mage forced to back up, having only got a couple, well, 3 Cerberus turrets in play. 4th one now online, trying to put together a shield gen. Can he get enough in place to stop Team 2 from breaking back through that top aperture? But look at this. All of that PD sitting under there, except for that one right there. It was down to a couple of 100 HP. tuunasaan actually recycles it. Could we be seeing tuunasaan back up and leave this forward position now that he's facing superior tech? He has got T3 himself. He's starting to produce harbingers. Erad1cator not pushing back on. He's immediately spammed up a stealth gen. You can see that stopped the attack on the forward units there from the Cerberus turrets that was raining in. Instead, he's going to start putting together some triads and rely on FokeOff and his trebuchet to force these units back into Team 1's territory. And look at the mass differential. FokeOff has played superbly in this. 127 mass per tick, his mirror on 69 still. And you think about the kind of steady PD creep he was under. He fended it off with just enough. Slowly used the territory to allow tuunasaan to push, while all the time upgrading internally his eco. Couple of 3 of the 4 base core extractors at T3. You've got another T3 there, so he's sitting pretty, and that's allowed him to get where he has got to. He's producing trebuchets and bricks, and that has really swung the momentum in this game. Mage now back up here, still getting support from tuunasaan. These harbingers having had their control transferred over to him. And it is now Erad1cator looking to get a little bit of a PD creep on, throwing a radar together here at the front. Got to be expecting him to start to put more PD in place over here. tuunasaan having backed up right the way over to his base. And we're now seeing the construction of a spider that just having been started a few moments ago. And that's going to be crucial for Team 1. What, if anything, can they do to fend off an experimental attack? They're going to have to start one for their own soon, I should think. We've got a GC under construction, started probably around about the same time, maybe a little bit after. Construction's not going too quickly on that. Think how much cheaper a Monkey Lord is. It's utilizing a ton of mass. And now we've got demolishers on the field for Erad1cator as well, and Percival, so he is firmly into the T3 tech bracket. UEF land. Spider 25% done and climbing. GC abandoned. That's interesting. Probably be cheaper for Mage to start throwing together a Monkey Lord of his own and get tuunasaan to assist. Question is, has that been discovered? There's a lot of T1 air hovering over Team 2's side of the map, especially for Erad1cator. Not a lot of airplay in this game. It's been core land throughout almost the entirety of the battle. A little bit of bomber work right at the beginning, but other than that, virtually nothing. Trebuchet nestled in there against the edge of the central reservation. Demolishers starting to creep forward. One very optimistically placed Aeon T3. Some TMD being thrown up at the front here, and Tuunasaan's going to want to burrow in as best he can. He's going to be facing a Monkey Lord soon, or at least you expect it to come that way. Now, just verging on 75% complete. It's going to turn into the green any second now. And there goes Team 1's Monkey Lord, and there go all the engineers for Tuunasaan to assist that. But look at the troubles that Erad1cator is now causing mage. Demolisher fire coming in over the top, rendering these Cerberus turrets that have been dotted around the place completely obsolete. And onward, that group of Erad1cator's troops, manned, or led I should say, by 4 Percys in the front. But this is going to be the really telling obstacle now for Team 1. Monkey Lord inbound from FokeOff. Map control completely yielded to Team 2. Both Mage, Tuunasaan backed up into their base. Take a borderline miracle for them to get out of this one, I think, at this point. 217 mass per tick for FokeOff. He's run away with it, and he's spamming together a bug. That surely will spell the end of this game if this Monkey Lord doesn't. Do have a T3 air factory in play there for Mage, but 5.2k on the power. He'd like more power than that to get spamming, I should think. And the lack of airplay in this game, there shouldn't be anything to prompt him to start doing so. Monkey Lord there from FokeOff trying to catch a couple of straggling units there from Mage as they make their way back into their home base. Monkey Lord escorted by 4 bricks as well to add insult to injury. Erad1cator asking his teammate for power now. Bug nearly completed, and surely this is going to spell the end, bar a complete colossal error for Team 2. Monkey Lords engaging simultaneously with one another, but the bricks coming in to add extra damage onto Team 1's Monkey Lord, and the GG goes out from Mage. He knows it's over. GG's going out all round, so very nicely done. Mage control case is calm, leaving his teammate to face matters alone. Bug incoming there from FokeOff. That game ending around the 30-minute mark, just as Tuunasaan emerges to a valiant death at the hands of a couple of experimentals and a bunch of T3. And nice to see as well that full share was off. No fairies have to die today. Well, hope you liked that, guys. Not the longest or the most complex ISIS of all time, but that was one hell of a battle up there at the top between Erad1cator and Mage. Step for step, back and forth, always nice to see. Second cast coming up soon, guys. There's also going to be a podcast done tonight. I don't know when that's going to be released, however. Shep's in charge of it, but stay tuned all the same. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.